Namaste, dear friends, and welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. I'm Alakananda Ma, Ayurvedic doctor and principal of Alandi Ayurveda Gurukula, a unique apprenticeship-style Ayurveda school in Boulder, Colorado. So I know that some of you patients of mine are just getting used to the idea of cooking your own meals, having meal plans, and so on. So, welcome to our latest series, Let's Go Shopping. And we're going to begin at the beginning with making a list. So, when you're going to go for your big weekly shop, be sure to make a list. I'm going to share all the tips I can. You learn something from an elder who has run an ashram feeding people for 35 years. Let's see if we can plan our shopping efficiently. So first step, you have to have a list. That's for your weekly shop. Goal is only one big shop in the week. You might still need to pop in for some perishables, but at least you will have a plan. So to make my life as easy as possible, I have a list template, and the list template has all my stock items on it. So in terms of the supermarket part of the list template, I've got tofu, canned artichoke hearts, tortillas, cheese, vegetables, avocados, mushrooms, milk and cheese and butter items. Everything that I typically buy is on the list. I've also tried to organize my list by section. Produce aisle section of the list, dairy aisle section of the list, and so on. I started this during the height of the COVID pandemic, when the shopper needed to spend as little time in the store as possible, so the list should be easy to navigate the store with. So first of all, I have the list template with everything on it that we typically buy. The second thing I have is a sheet of scrap paper taped up in the kitchen. So whenever I see that an item is getting low, I'm going to write it down on that sheet of paper. When the time comes for me to make my list, I'm going to take the items off from the template. So I'm going to remember to save as, save as in this date. I also have a spare template to be sure I'm not going to, if I do wreck my template, no tears, because I've got a spare template or so. Um, so I edit the template based on the scrap paper list from the kitchen. The next thing I have to do, so made sure I've put in the items that I see are getting low. Then I have to think through the meal plan for the week. So what recipes are we making? What are the ingredients we need to add for those special recipes? This is going to help us to have the things on hand that we need and not to overbuy. So should always carry back stock of your staples. Don't wait for a staple to run out before you restock it. Carrying back stock means you have one in hand, or I typically have the lentils, mung beans, and so on in half-gallon jars. So if I'm halfway down a half-gallon jar on a frequently used item, I'm probably going to put that on the shopping list. But I'm going to make sure I don't run out of my staples by jotting them down on that kitchen list when they start to get low. So there's a couple of ways we can approach it with buying the perishables. The way I do it is because I'm not the one that's actually going to the store. Rose Petal is the one that's going to the store for us as his saver. So I'm not the one that's there looking for the sale items. So I make the meal plan and put the needed perishables for the week's meal plan on the shopping list. But your other option is to go to the store and see what's on sale in the produce aisle and adjust your meal plan accordingly. Oh, look, cauliflower's on sale. Looks like I'm making cauliflower palau or cauliflower sabji this week, and so on. But then you've got to make sure you buy the other things that go with it. Personally, we do have a printer, and again, I'm not the one going to the store. I normally do print out the list and make sure the shopper has a couple of copies in case one gets lost. And because there are a few different stores actually on the list. Right now, we're just talking about the supermarket component of the list. But another way you might want to do it is to have the list on your phone. If you carry your phone around with you, then you can look at the list on your phone. But your trip to the store is going to be much thriftier because ideally you're only going to buy the things that you've decided to buy. And it's going to be much more efficient because you not only are you not going to buy the things you don't need or didn't really want, but you're also going to make sure you do buy the things you do need. And you're going to also additionally have an idea that, well, in 6 days' time, I'm going to make this thing, and the cilantro might not last till then. So someone's going to need to pop to the store for cilantro on such and such a day. So you generally have an efficient idea of how to run your kitchen and your meal plan. I actually really learned this from my mum. I remember every Friday in the evening, mum sitting with her index cards of recipes, making the meal plan for the week, making the shopping list based on the meal plan, and then Saturday, we all piled into the car and we went downtown and we went to the greengrocers and the fishmongers and Sainsbury's and we did our big shop. And because we did have a list, it was done efficiently and we sometimes broke up and Dad went to one store and Mum and kids went to another one and so on. So, yeah, let's run your household efficiently, save your time, save your money by going to the store armed with a list. Hope you found this helpful. I thought it was a lot of fun, and we'll talk more about shopping next week. Namaste.